That would sound like a conspiracy theory, right? Of course. But what's the definition of a right-wing conspiracy theory? Well, by the way, it's the news that's just 6 months early.
That was QAnon conspiracy theorist and sitting member of U.S. Congress Marjorie Taylor Greene smugly suggesting that the July 4th shootings were false flags. Why? Well, because they happened in a rich white neighborhood. And being someone from a rich white neighborhood, she knows firsthand that rich white people are perfect. And this could never happen. I mean, that's a little bit of you telling on yourself there. The implications are interesting. But she also says that the reason why she believes that these shootings were sus is because there wasn't a shooting at one of these pride parades. Now, she says that almost as if she wanted one to happen because she spent all of last month fear-mongering and inciting hatred against queer people, screeching about how they're grooming children and whatnot, falsely so. So, for her to see a shooting happen anywhere else and not at Pride, well, it seems a little bit sus. Interesting. Now, this conspiracy theory that she's talking about, this whole idea of trying to fabricate these mass shootings to get Republicans to go along with more gun control, is a conspiracy theory that has been around for decades to this point. I mean, I've heard for decades from conservatives who I know personally tell me that these mass shootings are nothing more than a ploy for government to come and confiscate all of your guns. Now, there's been mass shooting after mass shooting, literally hundreds of mass shootings every single year, and yet government still hasn't come for the guns. So when is it going to happen? Is there ever going to be a straw that broke the camel's back? I mean, at best, after children were massacred in Uvalde, we got milquetoast bipartisan gun reform that didn't even prevent the next major mass shooting. But my favorite part of that video was her basically saying, quote, "What's the definition of a right-wing conspiracy theory? It's just the news that's 6 months too early." And she says this so smugly, as if she is privy to knowledge that none of us are privy to. She knows more than all of us. Okay, well, if that's true, Marjorie Taylor Greene, if conspiracy theories are just news that's 6 months too early, can you explain where JFK Jr. is? Because more than 1,000 people, QAnon supporters, by the way, so maybe you know some of them, showed up to a Dallas event in 2021 in anticipation of his return, and he never materialized. He was supposedly going to announce a co-presidential run with Donald Trump. That never happened. Oh, and after he never showed up the first time, well, Marjorie Greene's QAnon buddy showed up again in June of 2022, and he once again never showed. Interesting. Also, what about the COVID vaccine supposedly containing microchips or magnetizing people? Didn't get any confirmation of that yet, have we? Speaking of conspiracy theories, was Marjorie Taylor Greene ever proven correct about the Jewish space laser supposedly causing wildfires? What about the 2020 election being stolen? Since till this day, not a single shred of evidence has proven people like Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene correct. Trump lost more than 60 lawsuits. Some cases were dismissed by judges Trump appointed himself. But according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, a right-wing conspiracy is just news that's 6 months too early. That's a terrible Marjorie Taylor Greene impression, but you get the point. I mean, this is somebody who is not a serious person, but she's a member of Congress. I think that literally my 7-year-old nephew has a higher IQ than her, but yet this person makes laws that affect all of us. She votes on legislation that affects all of us. Now, she's not done, because she goes on to explain more why she believes these mass shootings are not real.
Can't even make this stuff up. All right, but here, you still have to wonder, here's the question that I was asking, and I did ask it on my Twitter page, but I'm going to ask you all now. It is really interesting, and I just want to point it out again. No right-wingers, no crazy gun nuts, no white Christian nationalists went out and shot up a pride parade, but yet as soon as all the hashtag F the fourth signs and slogans came out, a bunch of cities were saying terrible things about their July 4th celebrations, a bunch of Democrat cities, by the way. Well, what happened on July 4th? A bunch of shootings, terrifying Americans in all different places. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe that's a conspiracy theory too. So what is this going to be? Remember how in 2017 in Las Vegas and, the Mandalay Bay shooting where, 57 or something people were shot and killed. And then we never learned anything about that guy or why he did it. We didn't even get to read a manifesto. He had massive amount of guns in his hotel room, shot out of the Mandalay Bay window down at a country music festival. We still don't know anything about the guy, except that his wife lives in California somewhere with like a $2 million home. That's impressive. What does she do for a living? Who knows? You can't know anything about him. He just got to kill a bunch of people at a country music concert. But sorry, American people, you don't deserve to know. You don't get to know the truth. You don't get to ask questions. You just have to forget about it because you're the people. You're supposed to forget. That's what they say about you. I have political consultants tell me that all the time, by the way. They're like, oh, people forget, Marjorie. No, people do not forget. They don't. They're smarter than you are. People don't forget, and we're tired of being treated that way.
It just cannot be lost on all of us that we have a sitting member of Congress who sounds identical to the host of InfoWars, Alex Jones. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If you ever doubted yourself, if you ever thought, man, I really want to do something, but I just don't think that I'm talented enough or good enough to do said thing, just remember that if Marjorie Taylor Greene can get elected to Congress, you can do anything. Trust me, because odds are the person watching this, yes, you're smarter than Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she made it to Congress. Don't ever doubt yourself again. Now, as to her conspiracy mongering about the Las Vegas shooting, let's go back to an article from September 30th of 2021, 4 years after the Las Vegas shooting. This is from AP. Quote, I was wounded. Those physical wounds have healed, said Deanne Hyatt, whose daughter also was hurt and whose brother died in the October 1st, 2017 shooting. Quote, but the lasting scars for our family remain. Hyatt spoke to several hundred people during a sunrise ceremony at the Clark County Government Center in Las Vegas. She remembered her slain brother, Kurt Von Tillo, a trucker from Northern California, before a screen at an outdoor amphitheater that displayed photos of the dead. 58 people were killed that night, and 2 others died later. More than 850 people were injured. We continue to live the impact of all that happened that night. 4 years later, Hyatt said, people thrive and people struggle to live with the physical and mental pain, and our lives are forever changed. So it's been almost half a decade, and none of these people have come back. Hyatt's brother hasn't come back to her and dropped an LOL JK. These people are gone, Marjorie. The 850 people who were wounded, they can tell you that that was very much real. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she doesn't see evidence. So we haven't heard any updates on the shooter, therefore it must have not happened. This is, the logical conclusion that you'd make if you take what she's saying at face value. Oh, well, if it's suspicious, then it must have not happened. Except you're a member of Congress. Why don't you speak to some of the victims? Maybe they can fill you in on the gaps. Maybe they can recount what happened that night. Maybe you don't know everything that happened about the event. Maybe we'll never know everything there is to know about these mass shootings. But that doesn't mean that they're not real, Marjorie. I mean, if we applied her standard to everything in life, almost anything can be true, because she doesn't need a single shred of evidence to come up with a grand conspiracy theory. I mean, I could come up with my own conspiracy theory. I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Louis Gohmert are the same person. My evidence? Have you ever seen them in the room together at the same time? I haven't. Now, maybe there's photographic evidence of this, but prove to me that that's not photoshopped. I mean, this is comparable levels of evidence to the conspiracies that she's espousing as well. And I even have a motive. Well, Louis Gohmert, when he was elected to Congress, was worried that nobody else matched his intellect in Congress. So rather than trying to elect more like-minded people, he decided to disguise himself as Marjorie Greene, put on makeup, don a wig, and run in some other random district in Georgia. And, so he switches back and forth. He plays characters, sort of like Eddie Murphy in The Nutty Professor. And, he'll put on the wig, go vote as Marjorie, come back, put on the bald cap, vote as Louis Gohmert. For all we know, it's a completely different person who's living as Louis Gohmert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. It sounds preposterous, but I have as much evidence for this conspiracy theory as Marjorie Taylor Greene has for her conspiracy theories. So do you understand why it's problematic to apply no evidence to these theories? Because we can reason ourselves into believing any batshit insane thing, and very obviously, Marjorie Taylor Greene has done that. So again, I know that I sound like a broken record, but I cannot emphasize this enough. Never let it be lost on us that this is a sitting member of Congress. She votes on laws that affect all of our lives. She has influence as a member of Congress, sway, power, and she's that fucking stupid.
Well, you acting like a beta. Call you the P word. Beta girl. Alpha male, not a beta male.
3, 2, 1. What I have here is some self-assembling wires. Whoa. Look at them spread out and bounce off each other, sending out feelers. These are small little stainless steel beads in some castor oil. In the center, I have a positive electrode, and then surrounding it is a negative electrode. So the beads will self-assemble as they look for the outer electrode. And when they find it, it makes a direct connection that you can see with sparks. Got it. They get charged from...
What the fuck did I put that? اشتراك معي باص.
That middle electrode, and they just want to spread out and get away from each other. So because of their like charge, they'll even shoot off the ends, and you'll see them shoot away from each other. And as they get a negative charge, then they'll come back towards the center again because they're attracted to the positive charge. And this process repeats where the balls kind of bounce back and forth between the positive and negative electrode. Even when the electrode's out of the oil, look at the beads try to find their master.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy B Smooth back here again with Celtic. Very next day. That's when the season. Understand, my camera is ass cheap. I need to find a new one. Let's get into the damn video. 3, 2, and 1. It's a long one. Oh my god, what is this quality? Oh, please tell me it's better. Nope, that's the best they got. Alright. Someone was on their iPhone trying to record. Hold on. Hauser, we just got his new bag. What is this camera, fella? What is this camera angle? Alright, we're here. Hold on. Is that Travion Williams? Aaron, you cannot guard me. Fall away. All right, this might be more roasting. In fact, what is this camera, big fella? What is this camera angle? All right, we're here. Hold on. Is that Travion Williams? Aaron, you cannot guard me. Fall away. Oh, my God, you can't miss that. All right, this might be more roasting, if anything. Should I make my, hold on. Make my camera a little smaller here. All right, there we go. Make my camera a little smaller. Can y'all really see me? I feel like I'm just kind of hidden in this corner here. Bob, you're not watching highlights. What highlights? Grant Williams is holding the ball for some reason. Pass the ball in, bro. There we go. We got Bodrick Thomas in there. Matt Ryan's in there. J.D. Davison has the ball right now. Is that Grant Williams? Maybe it's not Grant Williams. It just looks like. Hold on, J.D. with the ball. To the rim. Oh, never mind. Good pass. Who the hell is that? Bang! We'll take it. I don't know who the hell that is. We will take it. Is that Juwan, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's Juwan Bayron. Hold on. Someone got to the rim. No idea who that is. Hey, bro, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I don't know who the hell these guys are. I saw the Summer League roster only has like 10, maybe 11 guys on it. It's a very small team, but obviously they don't give a damn. I see Broderick Thomas. I don't know who 51 is. It's not Tremont Waters. That's an old school name there. Hold on, Matt Ryan. Hold on. Pull up, midi. Perfect. Okay. Interesting. All right, someone pushing. Euro step to the rim. Missed a layup. Missed another layup, and they called a foul. I feel like my camera is so tiny. I don't know if I like it or not, but we're gonna keep rocking with it. We're gonna keep wrestling. So Grant Williams is playing referee. Okay, mean cut. That might be Juwan. I have no idea. Good pass, Matty in the corner. Matt, you're gonna kill me, bro. Again, Summer League starts on Saturday, July 9th. I will react to every single Summer League game you can imagine. Oh, there's Capengele. Hold on. They look like AJ Reeves, kind of. Good pass. Who is this? Didn't dunk it, but we'll take it.
Hey folks, how you doing on this fine day? Straight to the point. It seems like Knowing Better decided to make another Columbus video.
A couple weeks ago, Kip Boga, who is one of my favorite Twitch streamers, asked me to join him on the live stream. Of course I was down. So we called up some scammers and pretended to be potential victims in order to waste the scammers' time. That way they aren't out there scamming real victims out of money. At first I was nervous, but I got comfortable pretty quickly and had so much fun. Google Play cards are one of the ways that these scammers take money from people. So after hours of conversation, the scammer wanted to see a picture of the Google Play card that we had just purchased from the store. And that's when we showed him this hyper-realistic cake I made just for him. His reaction was priceless. A couple weeks ago, Kip Boga, who is one of my...
Not sure why he would do that, but, well, there's issues with this one again, so here's another response.
Hi guys, welcome back to my quote show unquote. Just a little house. They're really poisoning the minds of the vulnerable in society, as we call them. People who are convinced that it's Benyo, whatever. Who's the other guy? Tim Pool, all these morons. They've got a lot of people convinced.
Fucking insane. Oh my god. That's actually crazy.
Vancouver foul. Number 26. First personal foul, first team foul. At the line for the Hawks, Finley. 2 shots. Number 26. The assist. Page. Number 30. Number 26. Vancouver foul. Ellis. First personal foul, second team foul. Finley at the line for 2. Vancouver calls timeout. Get ready for the dance squad!
Oh my god, this kid is so shit.
Well, to that, I would say. Ground activism. Okay, they're standing up for what they believe, and what this next clip is a perfect example of that.
Hello, my name is Alessandra Monti, and I have just completed 6th grade at ITMS in Winter Springs. I mostly enjoy my first year, and I take pride in my school. However, I am one of the smallest kids in the school, which makes the hallway situation very tough. Me and many other smaller kids get pushed around by 8th graders that run around in the hall without any respect for the 6th graders around us.
26. Vancouver foul. Page. First personal foul. Third team foul. Trey Young. Douglas. Assist from Page. Trey Young. Trey Young. Atlanta timeout. Get ready for the Duke Squad.
Hey.
Ryan. Ryan.
Ongoing discovery that many parents should be the ones being taken care of, that kids in Florida should rise up to take care of their parents. These wacky laws, these wacky like culture war distraction laws that these idiots are wasting everybody's time putting in place to distract from actually real economic issues and so on. Yeah, you probably heard that right. Because of these laws that they're putting in place, they had to censor the yearbook because the yearbook covered an LGBTQ walkout. So they did like a walkout of school because they're like, hey, you're passing all these bigot laws, we're going to do a walkout. The yearbook covered it as like we're doing our journalism covering a thing that happened. And then the school board was like, we can't show that because we might get in trouble because of these laws. What? Kids of Florida, this is a message to you. Rise up. Overtake the state. Overtake the state government. I nominate the little bullied girl with glasses to become governor.
Me and many other smaller kids get pushed around by 8th graders.
This is from a local paper. The smell of fresh paper filled the room, blah, blah, blah. They're printing a yearbook. Their excitement quickly turned to confusion after Principal Michael Hunter released it. His name's Mike Hunter. I don't know about that name because that's how it flows. Released a statement on Monday saying the distribution of yearbooks was delayed due to a spread that covered the HB 155S7 parental rights and education walkout. That's like the old say gay stuff. Walkout. As it did not meet the 7
Here we go.
foreign policy. On the spread, staff pictured students rallying together holding pride flags and signs in opposition to the new bill. The bill bans teachers interfering or grade teaching or discussing topics of how they deal
Aldridge.
truly like Ben Shapiro and all these people should be thrown face, but they should just in general be thrown face first into prison for the rest of their lives. But for this one, they really should be, because this poor library teacher, this librarian who makes nothing, she's paid, 30 cashews an hour or whatever. She's like, hey, y'all, just wanted to say that, those YouTube videos that you're watching, let's calm down a little bit, because I'm not a demon. But she's pretty what I would consider adorable. Because she's like, I'm the son of the... She's like, I'm the...
Just the thought of eating chalk makes me very uncomfortable, and that's why it makes for a great cake. Sometimes I make cakes that people would have no problem eating, and sometimes I make cakes that most people don't want to eat. Like this one. If my cakes don't cause you to have some kind of reaction, good or bad, then I didn't do a very good job. Because not everyone is going to like everything I make, and that's okay. I like when you like my cakes, and I like when you don't like them. Oh, and the sidewalks cake too. Just the...
Daughter of a Baptist minister. She puts all her crazy credentials. I'm the daughter.
Air Force Ones, a classic shoe by anyone's standards. Let's see if it makes a classic ball. All the shoes going into this ball have some sort of damage or defects, making them harder to sell. Luckily for the ball, that doesn't matter. I wanted to get a few clean blank ticks on this ball, spread out across the cells. The tick that's on the side of the shoe is way too large for any individual cell, so it has to be spread across a few. 3 to be precise. 2 hexagons and 1 pentagon. This project took over my life and apartment for an entire week. Just for future reference, destroying 8 pairs of shoes creates quite the mess. This is what I got for my troubles. 12 pentagons and 80 hexagons. It's around this stage when you get a good sense if the ball's going to be good or not. I'm excited about this one. It's really interesting how the ball really captures the essence of the shoe. It really looks and feels like a Nike Air Force One ball. I love it. There's the tick. 2 shoes for 1 tick, and there's 3 ticks on the ball. Everything's white. White leather, white accents, white thread. Really, really clean looking ball, this one. So there it is. A ball made from Air Force Ones.
A Baptist minister. But y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop coming at me. I mean, I think the goal of all the people who spread all this, the schools, they're trying to kill your kids with porno or whatever. they're trying to turn your kids, every one of them, gay. I think the point of it is to just destroy public institutions. Would cause chaos and all this stuff, so that, you know, it can be a private thing where the money is all funneled up to some 19 years past dead mummy, you know. And so far the agenda it seems to be having is just like totally just making people who already have a very important and difficult and low paying job just way more stressful and stupid. Also, again, important to point out that these people are not media perverts. They have what we call real jobs. Real jobs. Okay?
For removing books and that sort of thing. I want you to understand that we are not bad people. We are trustworthy. We, like Mr. Daly said, we can't possibly read every book. We can't possibly comb through every page.
Oh, you can?
That's how it flows. That's how it flows.
I love this lady. I know y'all like Facebook. You like to be on there all day. But we need to have one foot in reality. Can we do that? No? Okay, didn't think so. So there we go, guys. Just a little check-in with many people who are doing this. And this.
That's how it flows.
But many people who are doing this. So God bless that little glasses this.
That's how it flows.
But many people are doing this. So God bless that little glasses kid. I hope that they stop shoving her in the trash and dunking her head in the toilet and tying her shoelaces together. Cut it out, you bullies. If those bullies keep giving you a...
Why do you always use green buttercream? You wouldn't believe how many times I've been asked this question. And it's a good question. My cakes are shared by random accounts all the time. In fact, I just saw a TikTok post yesterday, my cake cutting videos, that has 12 million views, and the person who posted it gave me 0 credit. So a few years ago, I started filling my cakes with green buttercream. So when you guys see a hyper-realistic cake with that green buttercream, you know it's likely a side serve cake. And why did I choose the color green? Because green is an extremely rare color used to fill a cake, so it's perfect. Why do you...
Hard time.
Wipe your ass with them. That's how it flows.
So there we go, guys.
The president isn't acting with or
Fucking garbage.
If you've been watching lately, you already know how I feel about the Biden administration's response to Roe v. Wade being overturned or lack thereof.
Ellis, first personal foul, first team foul.
With the way that he's handled this situation. And I'm not alone, because Democrats agree 71% of Americans do not want Biden to seek a second term, even though he refuses to step down and announce that he'll only be running for one term. And he's even lost Deborah Messing. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a signal as to how that he's doing. He lost Deborah Messing. Now, yes, that Deborah Messing, the celebrity. Now, you may be wondering, why do we care what Deborah Messing thinks? Well, because she has been one of the most vocal and loyal defenders of the Democratic Party, and even if you in so much as tepidly pointed out some critiques that you had with Biden in 2020, she was right there to scold you back into place. But even Deborah Messing, a worshiper of the Democratic Party, is saying, this is unbelievable. So as CNN's Edward Isaac Dozier reports, Deborah Messing was fed up. The former Will and Grace star was among dozens of celebrity Democratic supporters and activists who joined a call with White House aide last Monday to discuss the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. The move was fatalistic, according to 3 people on the call, which was also co-organized by the advocacy group Build Back Better Together. Messing said she'd gotten Joe Biden elected and wanted to know why she was being asked to do anything at all, yelling that there didn't even seem a point to voting. Others wondered why the call was happening. The call, 3 days after the decision eliminating federal abortion rights, encapsulates the overwhelming sense of frustration among Democrats with Biden. It offers a new window into what many in the president's party describe as a mismanagement. This majority, shouldn't you act now when VP Harris said this?
You're saying now. The president said that this fall Roe is issue. But what do you say to Democratic voters? Wait a minute. We worked really hard to elect a Democratic president, a vice president, Democratic-led House, a Democratic-led Senate. Do it now. But do what now? What now? I mean, we listen. What we did, Senator Johnson, legislatively to make abortion rights. We feel the same way. Do it now. Congress needs to do it now in terms of permanently putting in place a clear indication that it is the law of the land that women have the ability and the right to make decisions about their reproductive care, and the government does not have the right to make those decisions for a woman.
I I just can't get that video out of my mind because it's so crazy. Like, it's almost like a parody, right? That's the Vice President of the United States saying, do what now? When they have a majority, again, slim majority, it's going to be really difficult to try to get the votes that you need. But you don't just accept, oh, we don't have the numbers, vote. Fight. You don't accept your fate. All polls are showing that the Republican Party is going to expand its majority. And you're not even going to try. You're just going to cross your fingers and hope you get more votes. It's truly ridiculous. As Mark Joseph Stern put it, if 2 weeks ago you had told me that Biden's response to Roe's reversal would be this feckless and torpid and pathetic, I wouldn't have believed you. It's a total abdication of leadership on an issue that sits at the heart of the Democratic Party. It's just appalling. Exactly. And it feels even worse now that Democrats had already written emails, fundraising emails, anticipating the reversal of Roe, rather than formulating an action plan. They're fundraising, they're saying vote, and they've raised millions of dollars. But for what? What's your action plan? What are you going to do besides saying, I'm going to codify Roe? Because there's nothing stopping this rogue Supreme Court from deeming Roe unconstitutional in the event you codify it into law, in the unlikely event you codify it into law. So what's the plan of action to protect abortion rights long term? I mean, are they talking about expanding the court? Biden shut that down. Are they talking about Supreme Court reform at all in term limits? No. So what's the plan to protect Roe v. Wade? Well, the plan is to vote and wait. Wait decades for the Supreme Court maybe to change, hopefully, in the Democratic Party's favor, so they can appoint new justices. Meanwhile, thousands of women are literally going to die because Roe has been overturned. So this is why people are frustrated with the Biden administration. This is why people want him to step down and not run for a second term. Because they've proven they don't have what it takes to be legal. Biden has proven that he doesn't have the capacity, but yet he's worked. Watching independent news shows like the Cougars Report, the Rational National, and the Majority Report, but oftentimes YouTube doesn't deliver our videos to your subscription box. Well, I've got a solution for you. It's called the Opt-Out app, available right now.
cool? Think so? You just gonna disrespect me like that?
What?
You just gonna disrespect me like that?
watching them pray. That's the McCarthy's plaid blanket. My kids were sitting on their blanket. I kept being like, guys, it's not your blanket. And that's just the hardest part. Like, why them? Why not us? You know, that kid. It's just impossible to make sense of something like that. This new video shows the terrifying firepower that rained down on the crowd. When the bullets started flying, witnesses say Kevin McCarthy shielded his son with his own body. The 2-year-old survived the hail of bullets that killed his parents. He was scooped up by a total stranger. Dana and Greg Ring were at the grave, and Aiden was literally passed to them.
A woman came down and was covered in blood. And she was holding a little boy covered in blood, and she was hysterical. I mean, she was
Physically shaking.
Not sad. So I ran over her and I said,
Yeah. That boy didn't belong to her. They reached out on social media asking, do you know this child? Adrian Rosenblatt, the McCarthy's neighbor, recognized Aiden and arranged a reunion with his maternal grandparents.
How do you tell an 18-month-old boy that mommy and daddy are in heaven now?
Irina McCarthy was 35. She was born in Russia but grew up in Highland Park and met Kevin through a marketing job at a Chicago pharmaceutical company. They were married in 2017. They were crazy about their child, says Irina's heartbroken father, Michael Levberg. They were planning to. Americans are embracing little Aiden. A GoFundMe appeal has already raised more than $2 million for Aiden in just 24 hours, and the money is still pouring in. Aiden will be cared for by his loving community, and he will have a long road ahead to heal, find stability, and ultimately navigate life as an orphan.
I took this shit right back to this my shit right back. I didn't say that because I don't even eat that. From May to the
go. We have some live octopus.
잠깐만요.
아니요.
아닌데요. 사진 찍으려고 해서.
Sculpted cake 10 years ago, and immediately having a fine art background, I decided to focus on two types of cakes: hyper-realistic cakes of objects, so still life cakes, and realistic cakes of people, so portrait cakes. Back then, very few people wanted to order my cakes. They said they were too weird and asked me, whatever one of you them. It's fair enough. So rather than give up on my passion, I recognized that people online really enjoy my cakes. So I went all in. 5 years ago, I vowed to make at least one new hyper-realistic cake every week and post the cakes online with the goal of building up their popularity enough to make a living making them. It wasn't easy, but it worked. Now my cakes are seen by millions of people every day. I get to work with really amazing people and companies. And best of all, I get to make a living doing what I love.
Defender is. Okay, he's not a guard. That's a power forward. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Point guard. Harden, a flyby. Good pass, ball. Oh! Caruso meets him at the top. Oh! And Caruso showing those hops right there. That's all ball, baby. Young lost the dribble. Grant, one man to beat. It's Larkin. Grant drives at him. Shot blocked. Great block. Terrific recovery. Ball goes out of bounds. Still big ball. Well, they stopped what would have been an easy two for Grant. His previous game. Oh! Shuffling, swatted by Wall. You know where he got that from? LeBron. He was waiting on Shuffle the right side. Batum, Aldridge. It'll be Batum. Batum for the win. Blocked. And a shot. It's coming down the lane. Great defense. Great defense. Yeah, it's a great block. Thomas Robinson. Here he comes. The athletic rookie out of Kansas. Oh, a block shot from behind. That was a thing of beauty. And the fans like it here at the Staples Center. Goodness gracious. Bledsoe. Block 12. Bledsoe's the guy to watch. He comes soaring through. Keep the ball to the center of the floor. Here comes Brooks. Oh! Big digs to the small packages, Neil Funk. Did you see that block? The little man came out of nowhere. Shot by Porter was no good. Walters the other way. Wall blocks it from behind. And the third quarter comes to an emphatic close. Thomas. Watch Isaiah Thomas run this down and send it out, big move.
Away by Wade. Here's James, drives past Bellinelli. Blocked from behind by Robinson. What a play from Nate Robinson and this crowd on its feet.
Jumper from LeVert comes up short. Allen with the board and a reload. Jared Allen, rejected at the rim by Smart, right on cue. That's one of the best defensive plays you'll see. This is a guard going up and meeting Jared Allen at the rim. Tremendous.
15 led Atlanta with 9 points. LeBron James led Miami with 8.
Clear runway until Dwayne Wade blocked the dunk on Radmanovich.
Again, D-Wade blocking a guy of that size and shot.
Denied. Double barrel action. Green and Leonard there to say no. Check this one out right here. Tatum goes up and Green and Kawhi Leonard just come in and just swat that away. Looking around, no one home except Randall inside. Nice knock away the defense of Jimmy Butler. A second block shot. Outside Thomas. Shot clock at 6. Thomas for the run. Butler again. Butler's playing handball. A one-man wrecking crew. 10 seconds separating the clocks. It's Walker once again. Blocked on the play by Butler, and he saved it to Chandler. What a play by Jimmy Butler. Terry back out to Kidd. Nowitzki inside to Chandler. Block. Oh, what a block from Wade. A spectacular defensive play. Going up. Got it blocked. No call. Here comes Durant. All the way. Blocked by Ginobili. Oh, Bobber. Manu Ginobili, the play of the night as far as I'm concerned. How about the block of the year? Wade and James feel they can just put their head down without any resistance. Oh, what a block from Wade. What a turnaround play. Wade with a remarkable projection. 2-on-1. Oh, Victor rising to the top. Big time defensive play. Watch the block by Oladipo. That is huge. That is huge. Here's Harden. Ginobili's on him. He's got shot. What a play by Ginobili. Ginobili snaps a shot by James Harden. Slam Antonio Ginobili. Gets it to Lowry at 5 seconds. Lowry, Williams the tight defense. Here is Lowry on the deck through 2. Lowry put it up. It's blocked by Pierce, and the Nets win the series. As Paul Pierce, waiting in front of the rim, denies the shot and sends Brooklyn to the second. Attacking the Parrish house. Block. Obliterated by LeBron James. If you're ever wondering about the smell of compressed leather, here's what it is. 4 seconds left. Butler denied.
LeBron finna get all these. Like top 10 blocks by position. I said I'm watching a highlight reel. Top 10 blocks by position. Wade and Jimmy had all the dang. It was 2. So I'm watching a video. It's top 10 blocks by position.
I know Wade in that bitch.
Wade and Jimmy had like 3 each in the shooting guard. Well, 4.
They got the like. But no, Jimmy. Don't think Jimmy up there with the most blocks that came down too.
Wade was blocking centers. I don't know. Jimmy blocked 2. Jimmy blocked 2 motherfuckers back to back on one position. I said LeBron finna get all these damn small forward ones. There go Gordon Hayward. Young Gordon Hayward with 2 blocks. Back when that nigga looked weird as hell. Young Devontae. Blocks by KD.
Take a look at Kevin Durant. The first time blocks it, slaps it again. Great effort getting back in transition. Game stolen by Rozier. 3-on-1 break for Boston.
LeBron.
Blocked by James. He did it again.
That's a foul. He got all in.
And he beats him at the summit. Spurs by a deuce. Or just come off and shoot it. Hart. Blocked by Leonard. What a play. Oh, what defense. Shot clock at 9. Murray takes it and tried to jam. It was rejected at the rim. Leonard is doing it.
Kiwi. Kawhi. No, LeBron finna at least get the top two.
Look at this. Oh my goodness. And it looks like he blocked it with one of those fingers.
Jamal Murray was so explosive. He was so explosive in the bubble. Dunking niggas, Rose type layups. Of course, LeBron got the top two. Oh yeah, go Giannis, power forward. Oh, I forgot about Ibaka. That nigga should be a dog. Ibaka.
On the break. 18 minimum time. He's got 9 blocks. That matches his career best. O'Neal thought it was automatic, didn't he?
I don't know why you would think that. He got the best shot blocker in the league. Trail.
Porzingis.
Lighting the crowd. Big time block.
Once again, Blazers are trying to do it.
Robinson rejects it. They lob to Martin and he jams. Holy cow. Oh! He won't see a finer block in the NBA than what he just did.
Oh my God, the Manimal. That nigga fell out the league quick as hell. The Manimal said the Manimal fell out the league quick as hell. Fell out the league. They're like, yeah, we got Jokic. You're done. All right.
Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
He jumped high as fuck. And he's short.
Yeah. Rebound, can't lay the ball up ass nigga.
Because he played like Capella and shit, but he was little.
Uh-huh.
Now that's the love.
I used to love getting that nigga on 2K. It's A+ rebounding.
Looks like nobody's jumping that high like that.
It was just him and Blake.
Do not go in there. Wow, what a play.
That nigga legs is shot.
A sensational defensive play stopping what would have been a dunk by Iguodala.
Iguodala with his mind made up. I think Capella says, not on my watch. Big time block on the dunk. Spectacular defense by Capella.
Scott goes in, spins, turns around, and back right out of the air by Whiteside. Oh, didn't even block it, just stole it. Middleton driving with Ellington.
Bam, Whiteside, they gonna show Whiteside, then Bam with a snatch. So they gonna show Whiteside and then they gonna show Bam with a snatch. Back to back. Festus Ezeli. I fucking hate Roy Hibbert. I fucking hated Roy Hibbert. Roy Hibbert. #1 center, Bam blocking Tatum for game. What was that, like game 7?
That's like the best block in the playoff history.
What was that, game 7 too?
Then he got another one on him this year. Not the game though, but the last year block in the playoffs. Know when he dunked on Brian?
Who?
When that Tatum?
Yeah. That was like his rookie year. Huh?
Yeah, put that shit on his wall.
Oh my god. Now the best part is how he bumped into him afterwards too. He funny as hell.
He said he couldn't wait till he got home and watched this shit. I wonder how much you had to do that back in the day. Like, I was across the street on somebody.
That's his first personal foul. First
I had to
team foul.
record that motherfucker. What they called it, the VCR? What the fuck they called? Niggas used to have to tape the shit literally. Oh, hello. No, I don't want to, but I will. Do you know she was unplugging? What did you unplug? Your TV? Did you unplug the part of it that's in the Fire Stick, or did you unplug the Fire Stick? Like, what part did you unplug? The little cord? The little cord, not the big thing.
What's your joint? Do that every time you turn off your TV?
Well, I try to go for I'm dropping the thing. Yeah, I wouldn't see you.
word on the beat. Everybody wanna get hit with the herd of buffalo.
So this character here on the enemy character is from Attack on Titan. Her name is Gabby Braun, and she is one of the most hated characters in the anime, which is interesting when you consider the fascist undertones. This character is so, to me, deep in terms of like ramifications. On the other side, you have Candace Owens, anti-black grifter seller. And as soon as I got to the chapters with Gabby, years ago now, I immediately started thinking of Candace Owens. And I wanted to talk about how Gabby can teach us about internalized racism. And teach us about, although this isn't possible for Candace, to be clear, can teach us about how to address anti-blackness within community. How to address and engage with black folks, especially black young people, going back to even Childish Gambino, black young people whose response to anti-blackness that they've experienced is to feed into that anti-blackness. Turk came out with a video a little while ago where he kind of engages with what that experience is. So Turk, I'm Turk, when you see this, bro, I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell you the story a little bit. So Turk was from Canada somewhere. I don't remember. And Turk was a child of an immigrant. And Turk had an experience where he was one of the very few black people in his community. You know who else had the experience? Candace Owens. And so what happens, and this goes back to that line of milk thing I talked about.
And I heard him say,
and I want to be clear because people still do I don't think that there's never a situation where black people should be around white people or that black children should go to white schools. I don't think that's the case. What I was saying, and this is supported by research, is that when you put a black child in an all-white environment, especially when that all-white environment does not have people who are competent in teaching and nurturing and supporting children across race, when they are not woke. And even being woke, fucking blunt shit. Hell, it happens in black schools. To be completely honest, when you have that, those black children suffer. They suffer, if not due to direct racism, they suffer through being othered and ostracized just by the nature of being a minority. It's impossible not to have negative experiences.
The way you was, that song you was playing earlier, that's what I could imagine Barack was singing. White person in all black community, the song you was playing when we was walking, and that's the way I could imagine he'd try to sing if he made with like super conscious, like everybody was. That nigga literally got a song, like just spoken word poetry song, like that. It's from a while ago.
They use to, deflect. They use that to maneuver that space. You hear the fights, and tell me, you heard these motherfuckers say this and say something with passion. I'm one of the good ones. Don't treat me like those the monsters on Paradise. Don't treat me like those other blacks that aren't respectable, don't know and refuse to pick themselves up by their bootstraps, so on and so forth. And this is universal. Asian diaspora people have a very good connection.
I will wait for you. I will wait for you. saw before.
As a kid, I always enjoyed realism in art. And then when I discovered hyperrealism, I was in love. The difference between the two is realism is when you replicate something in a way that looks natural and real, but you know you're looking at art. Hyperrealism is when you recreate something in a way that is so lifelike that you could be tricked into thinking it's the real thing. A true hyperrealistic painting will make you think you're looking at a photograph, and a true hyperrealistic sculpture will make you think you're looking at the actual object. As a kid, I always enjoyed.
When I first saw this comment, I thought, well, that's impossible. Moving on. Then I thought about it. One hand, one mouth. Does that count? Well, technically, it's not just one hand, because I'm also using my mouth, but I'm also not using two hands, so it's kind of shut up and do the trick. Okay, fine, but why you gotta be such an asshole about it? I hate my freaking TikTok persona alter ego. Gotta think for you, and I can't. Gotta stretch it out.
Steel pan. Fiber foam. Marimba. Drum set. Slop. How do you get the water blue? Well, it's really quite simple. I dye it blue. Now, this isn't any old dye. This is methylene blue. This is like the magical elixir for aquarium hobbyists. It helps protect against funguses, certain bacteria, and even some small parasites. Now, why am I using this on my goldfish that are seemingly healthy? Well, I was recently just shipped these 6 massive chunky goldfish. Process, goldfish can get very stressed. And any kinds of diseases they might be carrying might have a chance to take hold and take advantage of their compromised immune system due to the stress of transportation. So not only does it prevent any diseases from springing up, but it aids the quarantine
sure is cold, all right. Maybe I should have brought mittens.
How long are we going to keep up this ball charade?
Right, man. Tell you what, my damn word for that charade. Okay, cold. You want a cold one? Here's a cold one for you. Here's a cold one for you. Here's a cold one for you. I hope you're all happy. There's no cold ones left for me.
Open up your eyes, man. You're holding a beer.
Oh, you call this beer? Guatemala? Who bought this stuff?
Not me.
Of course not. We don't buy beer. Don't need to do that when you got friends to mooch off of.
Hey, some friend you are. When my wife left me because I was lazy and dependent, did even one of you find me a new one? No. Stop it. I can't stand fighting.
Yeah, we know that. You showed that on the paintball field.
I am not a coward.
What are you doing?
Happy Fabulous 9K. He's so cool. He said I could be stubborn, stay in school.
The word is roadie, Bobby. He meant roadie. At least I hope to God.
Oh, hey. For goodness sake, just put on your glasses.
Only old people need glasses to read. I use mine to drive and run and jump.
I am giving you a look.
Okay.
Erased all of our native allies, etc., because they had incentives to do so. Jared Diamond, though, well, he's just happy to take those accounts at their word. Whenever he's talking about a battle, he's paraphrasing the words of a conquistador, presenting them as superhuman gods thanks to their incredible steel gear. This is just awful history. During Pizarro's march from Cajamarca to the Inca capital of Cusco after Atahualpa's death, there were 4 such battles: at Hualpa, Vilcachua, Vilcaconga, and Cusco. Those 4 battles involved a mere 80, 30, 110, and 40 Spanish horsemen respectively, in each case raged against thousands or tens of thousands of Indians. Let's take a look at these battles. Luckily for us, Rogue covers all of them. The Spaniards set out for Cusco with their new allies in Chalcuchima. So as you can see, the Spanish already had native allies even before they had left Cajamarca. Another source provides us with a map that shows just how many native allies they already had at this early point. 2,500 from Cajamarca, and along the way they picked up more. By the time they arrived at Cusco, they had almost 10,000. So these battles were hardly just 100 Spaniards routing thousands of Incans. Road continues. There were 2 encounters near Jalpa, another at Vilcas, and the last and most serious on the climb to the Vilca Pass. Only only 2 days' march from Cusco. In the first action near Jauja, mounted Spaniards scattered a group of Inca warriors who were marching on level ground. In the second, Pizarro ordered 80 of his horsemen to try and get ahead of the Inca army and stop it. The Spaniards failed to do so, managing only to cut up the Inca rear guard and take some plunder. Pizarro was not pleased. The second encounter seems to be the one that Diamond was referring to, and it doesn't sound like them routing thousands of Indians with great slaughter. We also don't know just how many people they actually fought there with their 2,500 native allies. According to Diamond, though, it was thousands or even tens of thousands. Okay, on to Vilcas. At Vilcas, a Spanish advance party of 40 horsemen surprised the Inca camp when most of the fighting men were away on a hunt. The Spaniards took the Inca service personnel prisoner. When the Inca warriors returned from their hunt, there was a fight in which, for the first time, the Incas killed a horse. The next day, the Incas attacked again, carrying the horse's tail as a standard. There was heavy fighting until the Spaniards let their prisoners go. Thereupon, the Incas retired and resumed their march. So, at Vilcas, the Spanish succeeded in taking prisoners from an undefended camp. Then, the next day, after fighting, they ended up having to give up the prisoners, and both sides went on their way. Again, this doesn't seem to be at all what Diamond described it to be. It seems like a failure, actually. So, what about Vilcacunca? The Spanish advance party was almost annihilated on the climb to Vilcacunca Pass. The slope was so steep and the drop so sheer that the riders had dismounted and were leading their horses. When the Incas attacked, the Spaniards lost 5 dead and 17 wounded of their total of 40 men. The rest were saved by darkness. In the night, a party of Spanish reinforcements arrived and the Incas withdrew. The Spanish survivors stayed where they were for 4 days until Pizarro and the rest arrived. The Inca army did succeed in joining the army that controlled Cusco. Again, this does not sound at all to be what Diamond described it to be. The Spanish were almost annihilated, actually. What about Cusco? Well, Quizquiz, the Incan commander, tried to stop the Spaniards from entering Cusco. There was an indecisive encounter from which the Spaniards withdrew to a flat place to spend the night, while Quizquiz's forces camped on a hillside not far off. After dark, there was a disturbance in the Spanish camp caused by some horses breaking loose. Quizquiz's men feared a night attack and withdrew, leaving the way to Cusco open. Manco and Pizarro entered the city as liberators. This single attempt to block the Spanish advance was the only effort Quizquiz made to fight them. Later, when Manco and Pizarro
For the Warriors.
Pelicans fans, your Pelicans dance team.
Away team foul. That's his third personal foul. Second team foul. Assist roll. 3 points. 26. Number 26. Number 26. Await.
I can't help it. They train me too well. I am the most efficient killing machine the world has ever. Ow. 3 down. 1 to go. Hey, did you see the pot-bellied old guy with booster glasses come up back here?
Sure. He's traveling up the creek bed to cover his tracks. Oh, and, young fella, you lose. I think you're going to enjoy the world of acoustics.
Who could that be? Good Lord! That could start a fire! Now what's happening?
He's stopping it good.
There
There sure is, Pops. There sure is.
The raccoons are back!
Victories at all. But anyway, here Diamond makes it clear that he's aware explanation among historians for Spanish military successes in the early colonization of the Americas. The fact that they had many native allies who often outnumbered them by anywhere from 10 to 500 to 1. This greatly contradicts his argument, so it's very important that he provides a real refutation of it, certainly more than just a sentence. But he doesn't, he just hand waves it away. The erasure of the native allies who usually fought outnumbered Spanish soldiers is such a common old trope that in the aforementioned book, 7 Years of the Spanish Conquest, a whole chapter is dedicated to it, along with the erasure of African conquistadors. I particularly like this paragraph for how well it describes Diamond's recounting of events. The image is a familiar one. Thousands of native warriors spread like bees among the advancing outnumbered conquistadors who against all odds fed them off and survived to fight another day. This familiarity is quite in part in the larger context of the West Victorian experience. Its mythology is punctuated by tales of barbarian hordes miraculously repulsed or crushed. The capture of Atahualpa, the siege of Vienna, the Alamo, Custer's last stand, Rock's Drift, but the image is also familiar specifically with respect to the Spanish conquest. This image tells us much about the Spaniards, but it leaves out critical aspects of the story. There is no doubt that the Spaniards were consistently outnumbered by native enemies on the battlefield, but what they're so often ignored or forgotten is the fact that Spaniards tended also to be outnumbered by their own native allies. Yeah, that sounds like this chapter, all right. So back to gun and steel. Diamond continues. Nor can it be attributed to the psychological novelty of Spanish weapons and horses, or, as is often claimed, to the Incas mistaking Spaniards for their returning god, Viracocha. The initial successes of Pizarro and Cortez did attract native allies. However, many of them would not have become if they had not already been persuaded by had secured many allies before ever even having fought an actual battle. When the only
Team foul. That's his fourth personal foul. Third team foul.
in that period, that two foul
into the lineup for your Pelicans.
Stem from bad parental imaging at home. You're saying it's my fault I'm here? I won't play your blame game, Mr. Hill. Your son mocked a beautiful Scottish folk song. We owe it to ourselves to find out why.
Yeah, you make a good point, Hank. He says you're a bad father.
No, you're not bad dads. You have bad dad habits. Ugh. Gentlemen, let's
The early 2-0 lead was great design. First play, you come out, you execute it well, there's that bully ball. Has decided to play early. We know that was
Outside opportunity, also a great passer, rebounder, shot blocker. 7-5 game early, making now 7-5. Down to 4, rolls it out. Washington Jr. Tough shot.
big fella. The lefty hook forward.
Multi hook indeed. You got that right, because you haven't seen Kennedy Chandler or Zaire Williams, Xavier Thomas Sr., Jake Laravia.
Wow, what a deep one there.
Wow.
Like Kenny Lofton, Salt Lake City logo in the paint, just pulls up, shot clock running down, grabs it off the dribble. Doesn't take him a lot of power to get that ball that far either.
Safety's job.
Gonna clean my rain gutters.
Well, whatever works for you. I believe a child benefits more from the psychological approach. I need to correct Joseph. I tell him he's adopted.
My dad used to punish me by telling me I was a girl. He used to make me wear dresses. Pretty dresses. Let's go, Bobby. It's debt paying time. I wonder what old Con has in store for Con Jr. What the? Con, what are you doing? Mowing the lawn is a privilege, not a punishment.
God, Con Jr. You learn what it's like to be you.
You know, it's that kind of permissive parenting that forfeited your country to the communists.
So guys, I've seen this done with a potato, but never with a piece of meat. So I got my skewers out and I start making my cuts. And I said to myself, is it actually possible to make a chain link pork chop? Well, the answer is yes. And it's pretty cool. So I thought I'd marinate it for a few minutes. A little bit of minced garlic, and some minced ginger in there too. Some soy sauce, a little cornstarch, real simple. Just mix this around for a few minutes. Get a little oil hot in the pan. It's time to plate. I'm just doing it with rice and an egg. Look at all those little crispy edges. Man, just get right in there. What a treat. Cheers, everyone.
Going back to the Highland Park, we covered some of the new details that came out yesterday, but what we haven't really taken a look at is, of course, the unhinged takes from the likes of Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson just blamed the 4th of July massacre on mostly women who never stop lecturing men about their so-called male privilege. He also blames social media, video games.
So if you look on the back of a lot of cereals, you can see that they contain iron. So this iron that it contains is actually metallic iron. So if you crush up the Cheerios and put it in a bag and then pour some water in it, and then get a big neodymium magnet, so just start rubbing it against the bag. Should very soon start seeing some particles in there. So you can see the iron in the bag now. Now, when companies put these iron particles in your Cheerios, I think it's kind of cheating because you don't actually need metallic iron in your body. You need ionic iron. So you're supposed to get it in ionic form, not in this metal form. Now, some of this metallic iron does turn into ions in your body, but a very little amount. So most of this iron just passes through you in metallic form. So you're actually getting way less iron than you think from your cereal. So if you look on the back of a lot of
This is a 150 years old puzzle with the solution that will blow your mind. The name of the puzzle is Saddle the Horses, and the goal is to arrange 3 wooden cards so that each rider is in the correct riding position on top of the horse. As you can see, if I put this guy on top of the horse, the lady is under the horse. And if you take a closer look, you will notice that they're facing opposite directions. You may say, okay, you have to flip the bottom horse upside down and put the lady on top of the horse. But in this case, the gentleman will be under the horse. You may say, okay, there is another way. You can flip the horses so that they are back to back and now put both riders on top of the horses. But that's not actually a way how people ride horses, and the solution is completely different. So how to solve the puzzle? First of all, that is the correct position of horses. You have to put them back to back. Then you have to rotate them. And the next step is just amazing. You have to put the riders in the middle. This is a 150 years old puzzle with the solution that will blow your mind. The name of the puzzle is Saddle the Horses, and the goal is to arrange 3 wooden cards so that each rider is in the correct riding position on top of the horse. As you can see, if I put this guy on top of the horse, the lady is under the horse. And if you take a closer look, you will notice that they're facing opposite directions. You may say, okay, you have to flip the bottom horse upside down and put the lady on top of the horse. But in this case, the gentleman will be under the horse. You may say, okay, there is another way. You can flip the horses so that they are back to back and now put both riders on top of the horses. But that's not actually a way how people ride horses, and the solution is completely different. So how to solve the puzzle? First of all, that is the correct position of horses. You have to put them back to back. Then you have to rotate them. And the next step is just amazing. You have to put the riders in the middle. This is a 150 years old puzzle with government-endorsed weed.
Look at Robert Bobby Cremo.
I gather a few different colored sprinkles, crush them up, sprinkle them over a layer of rolled out modeling chocolate, smash them into the chocolate with a rolling pin, satisfying. Carve a cake into the shape of a soap tray, cover it in a thin layer of buttercream, cover it in the sprinkle-covered modeling chocolate, refine the shape of my edible soap tray, and place a cake bar of soap on top, and that's how I make a bar of soap cake.
Would you sell a gun to that guy? He seemed like a nutcase. Of course he does. So why didn't anyone raise an alarm?
Hey everyone, Garbage here. Right now, you are looking at a real-life aimbot, and it's about to change gaming forever. But we'll talk more about that in just a second. First, I have a question for you. Why are there still so many aimbot cheaters in first-person shooters despite all the advancements we've had in anti-cheat technology? Well, ultimately, it comes down to the problem of recognizing the difference between a cheater and someone who is just really good at aiming. You might think, well, we know that humans are imperfect and make tiny mistakes when playing, and so if we analyze the player's inputs and find that they're too perfect to be real, that player must be cheating, right? Well, maybe. But not only are there some really mechanically gifted gamers out there who blur the line between man and machine, it's also very easy to tune an aimbot to be slightly less than perfect in order to bypass these simplistic anti-cheat measures while still giving the player an unfair advantage. And so currently, the way anti-cheats work is less about analyzing player inputs and more about checking for suspicious software activity that's happening while playing the game. The overly simplified explanation of how aimbots work is that they pull data such as the location of the enemy's head from your system's memory while the game is running, and using it to point your crosshair at specific locations. On the anti-cheat side, modern anti-cheats will do all sorts of things like monitor your memory, scan your computer files, and more to try to detect any suspicious activity on your device and ban you. And over the years, both cheats and anti-cheats have been locked in an endless arms race, employing more and more sophisticated methods to outsmart the other. But it seems like the cheaters may ultimately win because now there's a new 100% undetectable type of aimbot that is starting to emerge thanks to the power of machine learning AI. The way this new aimbot works requires two separate computers. First, you have the computer that runs the game, and this is a completely clean system with a legitimate copy of the game installed. However, while running the game, this computer is sending a live recording of the gameplay via a capture card over to a second computer, which uses AI to analyze the gameplay footage frame by frame, determining which pixels on the screen are enemies, similar to how self-driving works in Tesla cars. It then calculates a series of inputs based on the footage needed to move the crosshair onto the enemy's head, and then sends those inputs back to the gaming computer using a device that can spoof controller or mouse inputs, which results in an aimbot that doesn't need to pull any information out of memory or interact with the game files in any way, shape, or form. This is a virtually undetectable cheat because all the cheating software runs on a separate computer from the one running the game. And so from the anti-cheat's perspective, it just looks like a human player with really good aim playing on a complete